We live in the golden age of medical technology. We can sequence genomes and edit DNA, yet the vast majority of us are exhausted, inflamed, and chronically sick. The statistics are staggering. Roughly 76% of the population is now overweight, pre-diabetic, and living in a permanent state of high-level inflammation. Why is the human body buckling under the simple acts of sitting in a chair and eating a pastry? This isn't a wave of bad genetic luck. It is a systemic glitch, the result of trying to run ancient biological hardware on modern environmental software that it was never designed to handle. For hundreds of thousands of years, the human body was forged in the fires of survival. It was optimized for intense physical exertion and navigating a world of constant food scarcity. Our ancestors lived by a singular biological imperative: find enough to eat and avoid getting eaten. This perfected our bodies as aggressive energy storage machines, built to lock away every calorie to survive the next inevitable threat. Now, take that elite survival engine and drop it into a cubicle. The threat of a predator has been replaced by the low-level hum of inbox anxiety, and the reality of starvation has been swapped for an infinite supply of ultra-processed carbohydrates. We are ancient survival machines dropped into an obesogenic world, and our biology is catastrophically malfunctioning in the face of that mismatch. The first major breakdown is physical. We've come to view sitting as a neutral activity, but sedentaryism is a literal disease state, a prolonged lack of movement that triggers a cascade of damage. In the 1960s, the Dallas Bed Rest Study took healthy college students and subjected them to 3 weeks of complete immobilization. They weren't allowed to move, even to go to the bathroom. The results were terrifying. After just 21 days of inactivity, the cardiovascular systems of these healthy young men had effectively aged by 30 years. This is the baseline we simulate every day at our desks. This lack of cardiorespiratory fitness doesn't just make you tired. It causes your heart to stiffen and physically shrinks the areas of the brain responsible for learning and memory. Sitting is a severe biological trauma. A sedentary lifestyle is now a more accurate predictor of early death than even traditional habits like smoking. Then there is the fuel. In just a few decades, we rapidly replaced our fibrous, whole food baseline with a relentless stream of refined calories. When we eat these ultra-processed carbs, our blood sugar spikes, forcing our insulin to surge to store that energy for a famine that never arrives. Because we never stop eating, our cellular storage units stay full. To compensate, the body pumps out even more insulin to force the excess sugar inside, eventually leading to a state where the signal no longer works: insulin resistance. Look at this anatomical cross-section. When the body runs out of standard storage under the skin, it begins packing excess glucose deep inside the belly. This is visceral fat, a dangerous accumulation that wraps tightly around your vital organs. This isn't just passive padding. Visceral fat acts like a hypermetabolic tumor, constantly leaking toxic, inflammatory signals directly into your bloodstream and your internal organs. Our modern diet tricks our ancient starvation defense systems into building an internal engine of inflammation that poisons us from within. These same industrial foods destroy the delicate microbiome in your gut. Between a leaking gut barrier and the toxic products of visceral fat, your immune system becomes trapped in a forever war of chronic, low-level inflammation. The casualties of this constant war are the plagues of the 21st century: heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and dementia. Modern medicine is siloed. It treats these connected issues as separate, isolated diseases, sending you to different doctors for different pills to manage different symptoms. But the facts suggest a deeper connection. Many of our leading causes of death frequently share a common, hidden driver: the metabolic dysfunction triggered by the world we've built. We don't have to go back to the Stone Age to fix this. We can use targeted behavioral interventions to trigger our ancient hardware into functioning correctly. Take the glucose problem. Research shows that performing just 10 air squats every hour acts as a biological override for a sedentary lifestyle. It engages the largest muscles in your body to vacuum up glucose spikes and pull your metabolism back to its baseline. We can also recalibrate our repair cycle through sleep regularity. By keeping your bed and wake times highly consistent, you stabilize your internal clock. This simple shift in timing reduces your all-cause mortality risk by a staggering 49%. When you pair a low-carb diet to reverse insulin resistance with basic cardiorespiratory exercise, the results are physical. These changes can literally grow the memory-forming hippocampus in your brain by 1 to 2% a year. Reversing chronic decline doesn't require a medical miracle. It requires stopping the influx of garbage inputs and clearing the metabolic trash that has accumulated in the system. We have to stop trying to treat 21st century environmental diseases with expensive medical bandages. It's time to take direct control of your own biological engine. True health is the direct result of healthful living, of choosing to do the difficult physical work your body was designed for, rather than relying on a pill to fix the damage. The ultimate rebellion in a sedentary world is choosing to move. Reject the biological glitch, step out of the cubicle, and start reclaiming your ancestral hardware.